Wanna come up? Oh yeah. Yep. Good girl. Yeah. He's a good kitty.
like to put glue on.
So we'll see how bad this crack is, because I may be able to, oh, pretty bad. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Okay.